there's just some powerful, powerful numbers there. It's funny, just to kind of, before I start here, this works a lot better for me. This becomes a question and answer type of thing versus me talking at you, talking to you. So if you have any questions along the way here, please ask them and we'll stop and we'll kind of go over them. It's funny, before I came out here, I thanked the people who have helped me grow my social media education on social media. Kind of an amazing thing. You know, it's, I thank Jeff, I thanked a couple of folks that are really big time into the social aspect of things. But this is how traditional marketing used to work. You used to put an ad in the paper, you used to put an ad on the radio, you used to run the TV commercials, you used to do an awful lot of direct mail. There was a while there that we, Vargas Insurance, were almost a direct mail type of company. We had the folding machines, the inserting machines, the postage machines. And then you ran ads in or you put a listing in the local page, yellow pages, and then you followed up with a phone call. And really things have changed a little bit, but who remembers these guys? Right? It wasn't too long ago that we had these, right? If you could afford maybe $1,000 a month, you would put an ad in this book. If you could afford $600 or $700 a year, you put an ad in the little Hyde Park, the Dorchester, the Jamaica Plain local papers. I remember using the Boston Yellow Pages as a booster for my oldest boy when he was a little guy. That's where they ended up, right? So that whole Yellow Pages, and how the Yellow Pages worked was the longer you were there, the quicker you got to the front of the line of the insurance people or the banking people. And if you added color, if you paid for color, you'd get closer to the front. So when somebody flipped to the insurance section and I had color and I'd been there for 10 or 15 years, Vargas would be ahead of A Affordable. It was kind of an unfair type of thing. So the person the business that had the deepest pockets got to the front of the line quicker. The Yellow Pages saw the dumpster coming, so they had to reinvent themselves, and now they're called YP.com. So now they're competing with Yelp and Google and stuff. So there's YP, there's many different local type of papers up there. This is the other traditional way of getting your word out, was placing ads in the local papers. There's still some local papers, and if you look at the local papers, they really provide an awful lot of content. There's a lot less ads there. I'm talking about the Dorchester Reporter. I mean, they put some good stuff there. The ads are really online. If you go to .news.com, that's where they get their money from. But today's consumers are consuming 54% more news than they did before. You know, even though the newspapers have declined. And I'm just going to throw some more numbers here. I'm kind of a numbers type of guy, then we'll kind of go into the nuts and bolts. By the time a consumer calls your business, they're 57% into the buying cycle. So they've done the research, they've read their reviews, they've asked their friends online. So if you're not there, if you're not out there where they can read about you, they can tweet about you, they can ask about you, then you're missing out on a big part of that pie. The term that's being used is SOBO, shop online, buy offline. 80% of the folks go online to shop, but then only 20% of those folks actually go back online to buy them. They really want to buy from a local business. This is one I thought of you guys. 90% of the new home buyers start their home buying shopping online. So if you don't have a blog, if you're not chatting about something, if you don't have a real presence other than maybe being on the local Century 21 or the Conway site, then they're really not paying attention to you. They're going to go to the folks who are spending the extra time to almost brand themselves. And this is, I thought about you, Tam. 81% of anybody that goes out for dinner checks on Yelp before they go out. They want to know what the food's about. I go there looking for what people suggest that I should be eating. You're faced with this large menu of things to choose from. Somebody like this, somebody like that, I'm going to try that. So 81% of anybody that goes out to dinner checks about the restaurant before they go out the door. And this one is really close and dear to me. There was a time in the insurance business where we were the controllers of the information, right? You want to learn about auto insurance, homeowners insurance, deductibles, and coverages, you had to come to me. Today, the consumer comes to me already knowing what they want to buy. The average consumer will read 11.7 bits of information, articles, reviews, coverages before they walk in our door to buy insurance. This is, I followed this young guy. His name is Ryan Hanley. He's 30-something. And he put this out maybe a couple of weeks or so ago. And he says, social media and content marketing is about digitizing the soul of your business. That gives me goosebumps, right? Through engagement, through images, through the experience your customers get interacting with you, it's about growing your business and attracting the best people who are your best customers. I mean, social media is digitizing the soul of your business. That's putting your business out there. That's showing folks who you are before they come in the door, before they make the decision to buy from you. Has anybody ever heard of inbound marketing? It was started by HubSpot, a company in Cambridge. And what inbound marketing is providing enough content, enough useful, relevant information so that people call you. They look at you as the expert versus you putting an ad in the paper. I'm hoping that somebody has an auto renewal this week because my ad is in the paper this week. But if they're reading your stuff online, they're going to find you. They're going to think that you're the person to go to, whether it's auto insurance, whether it's buying a home, buying a condo, you know. And what inbound marketing does, it takes all of these social media platforms, it takes your SEO, your emails, it works 24/7. You blog about something, that's out there forever. 11 o'clock, somebody's filling out how to walk through the process here, you know, about opening up a business. Folks are consuming content at 3 o'clock in the morning. I know I get up at 4:30. I go right online, I check what's happening, I share, I buffer some stuff. I'm not the only one doing that. I can't be the only one doing that because I know an awful lot of my friends are doing the same thing. I consume my stuff at off hours. I consume my reading material. Put the content out there first. This is another Ryan Hanley. I'm poaching this young man because he's cutting edge. This is the new age of the consumer. They want it up front, and then they will come to you. Give them what they want. Give them all of what you have, all of what you know, all of your secrets, and you will be seen as an expert. That is so powerful because today's consumer doesn't want to be sold to. I'm thinking of my kids, Gen Ys, I guess. You know, they don't read ads. They TiVo right through the ads, right? So when they're watching something, they just fast forward right through them. Today's consumer wants to learn, and then they're going to come and find you. They're going to seek your business out. But you really need a plan, and you should claim your Yelp position there. You should claim your Google Pages. Google Pages, I don't know, Google Plus. It's not a marketer's dream because it is such a time-intensive platform. But if you want quality content, if you don't want to be yelled at or screamed at with ads, Google Plus is where you should be. Places, circles. Google makes their money selling Google Ads. They don't want to compete with their Google Ads. Google Plus is not a competition for Facebook. Facebook does its own thing. Google wants to take their platform to a higher level. And there's so many platforms out there. There's Facebook, there's Blogger, there's Flickr, there's YouTube, there's Baboo, there's BuzzNet, there's hundreds of them out there. There's also a platform out there that you can start your own social media. You know, there's a company that said, hey, why don't we offer people the availability to start TAM's Facebook group, or, you know, outside of Facebook, or TAM's group. You really should pick where you want to spend your time, where you want to spend some of your money. We've decided that this is where we spend most of our time. Most of our time is spent here, providing quality content, providing useful information. It's online 24/7, right? We recently started pinning. Why? Because 80% of the pinners are females. And females are our best clients. You know, females are our best clients. We're on LinkedIn. If you're a business, that's really a platform that you should be at, because that's how you connect with other people in your business world. Foursquare is really an important part of your business because folks want to check in. I'm the mayor at your place. I'm the mayor of your place. So I just check in, and you kind of go up the top and you post photos, you post likes, you post what didn't go well there, and then folks will talk about it and they'll share it with you. We tweet 4 or 5 times a day. We use this product here because I'm just one. I'm one with a couple of helpers, I should say. We use this product. I used to use Hootsuite. Today we use Buffer. And what Buffer does is, it's such a simple program. You download the app. Buffer works great with Google Chrome. You download that little plugin. I go to Conway and I see you guys are chatting about something. I click on that Google app, or the Buffer app. It then opens up another window that takes what's on, what you're talking about, and puts it in there. And it says, do you want to buff it for later on in the day, or do you want to post it now? And I have all of my platforms tied in. I have Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google+, Pinterest isn't part of it. And then I can say, I have all the times. So Facebook, the best time to post on Facebook is between 8 in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Best time to post on LinkedIn is between 5 in the morning and 9 in the morning. You know, so I have all these times set up. I send it to Buffett later, and it doesn't. So you think, Mary, I know you think that I'm sitting here at my desk all the time. I'm usually dining somewhere or delivering a coffee cake across the way. So I just send it out, and whether it's 7 o'clock at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, Buffer knows that Facebook gets posted at these times. Facebook statistics, and I think this is it for the statistics. I mean, there's 1.26 billion people in the world on Facebook. 728 million people in the world every day tie into Facebook. The daily active users in the US are 126 million of us. More than a third, I think, it's about 300 million of us, right? The average daily likes is 4.5 billion. The average daily photo uploads, if you follow me, I probably have a big chunk of that, 350 million. I try to do my part there. The average number of shares, 4.75 billion. And this is really the one that kind of floored me. I said, this has to be for 12 months. No, this is for a day. 10 billion private messages. Private messages is when you just kind of, I want to send Tam a message and I don't want anybody else to see it. 10 billion messages a day. That's amazing. That means that folks are glued to that PC or the tablet or the smartphone all the time. And this is my favorite because the fastest growing bracket of people on Facebook are 45 to 54. I'm not really looking for the young driver because they can't drive. Their rates are too high. They're not making money, but I'm looking for somebody in the 40s and 50s, somebody who's already got the kids out of the house. So the driving records are going to be better. We're much better competitive. They're looking to purchase another home, so they'll think of us as their insurance folks. That's the fastest growing. And I know that there was a blip last week in the stock value because the 12 to 18-year-olds are dropping off quicker than the 45 to 54-year-olds were coming on. That's fine. I'm not looking to sell the 13-year-olds auto insurance. I'm looking to connect to the folks who are my best clients, and that's that. Now maybe I'll highlight. So YouTube statistics. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. I think we saw that in the video. They have 1 billion unique visitors. 1 billion monthly visitors. 6 billion videos of ours are consumed every month. YouTube reaches more U.S. households, or more U.S. folks between the ages of 18 and 30 than anybody else. So if you're looking to sell to them, if your audience is the 18 to 30-year-olds, you should be posting some videos. You should be talking about your business. You should be sharing on there. Google owns YouTube, and they're the world's largest search engine. There's 350 million users on Google. Most of them are business people. Most of them aren't people just looking for pictures of cats. We want to share, we want to provide quality content on them. And Google grew by 33%, Google Plus did, between June of 2012 and 2013. This is who we are. What we are online is really not much different than what we were before social media came about. We talked about community. We talked about giving back. We talked about buying smart, buy local. We talked about, we used to run ads in the local paper, just talk, not an ad, but more of a sharing of content. What we did was we took our pre-social media business philosophy online, and Google and all these platforms have helped us out a bit. If you're concerned about making mistakes, you really shouldn't be. You should treat social media as if you're going to a party. If you go to a party, you don't talk about religion, right? You don't talk about who the new governor is or mayor is. You don't talk about me. You talk about what's happening. You talk about everything other than yourself. And you really should ask yourself, where are we currently getting business? That's where you want to be spending your dollars. What platforms are our customers on? Right, are they on Google? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Facebook? What information would they be asking on the internet if they were searching for a business such as ours? And you want to provide the content there. You want to spend some time there. And you really want to involve your employees. That is such a key part of the whole social media strategy. Because I think if I was doing this as Carlos Vargas, I don't have 10,000 followers and friends and stuff. I like to think I do, but I don't. But I have Jeff, I have Jeff's sales team, I have the customer service people. They all have 500 or 600 friends. If we get 20 people with 500 or 600 friends, now we get 10,000 people that are going to like and share and post what we do. And a lot of English is my second language, so writing is not very good. But what do I write about? I'm a business owner. What do I write about? You should write about your products. You should write about the problems that you solve. You should look at questions that your employees answer every single day. And remember that when you post a blog, it's really got to be 90% about everything else, 10% about you. It can't be about you. You turn people off. If I were just talking about auto insurance, umbrella coverage, homeowners insurance, folks are going to unfriend me really quick. You should consider, there's an awful lot of young people out there that would love to earn a couple of dollars for writing a blog. We pay 2 writers to write our blogs. I send them the info. Jeff sends them the info, stuff that we think would be interesting. They write our blogs. We have a guest blogger. She's going off to college, so I don't know if she's going to be blogging for us much longer. So you should consider, if you're not a writer, you should consider finding somebody who's plenty of talented kids who would love to make some money talking about whatever their interests are. This is really our philosophy. We don't want to be top of mind. We want to be friend of mind, right? You provide enough content, never asking for anything back. People need auto insurance, they need homeowners insurance, they have a question on their claim, they're going to think of us. So you almost become a utility, and there's a book out there by Jay Baer, B-A-E-R. It talks about taking your business, making your business a utility. So folks look to you for content, not necessarily about what your business is about, and then they'll eventually think that, hey, Carlos does insurance, I'm going to give him a chance. Generosity leads to reciprocity. That's really what it's all about. It's the habit of giving without expectations. I truly live. This is Jeff will tell you, we live this. And in the expectation that people will respond maybe sometime. Doesn't have to be today, it could be next year, it could be 5 years from now. This came from Jay Baer's book as well. This is what we and this is an example of a utility. Columbia Sportswear Company. They sell shoes and winter gear, but they don't sell rope. They have a rope app out there. So if you're climbing somewhere and you want to learn how to make a sailor's knot, you go to the rope app, to the knot app, and you can download it. It shows you the whole way how to loop it through. They don't sell rope. They're in the clothing business, but they provide this app. This app has been downloaded over 350,000 times. So if you constantly go into that app, you eventually need to replace your parka. Hopefully you'll consider Columbia. You've seen them. They've become your friend of mine. Earlier this year, we decided to move our blog off-site, just trying to kind of brand us a little bit different. Your website is your online pamphlet. It's where people find out your staff, they find out your hours, they find out exactly what you sell. We wanted to branch off of there because it's not about selling, it's about providing quality content. And this is our recent blogs. I think that we've done a whole bunch since here. So we talked about fall fitness. We talked about have a fun and safe Halloween. Get involved with your local animal shelter. Home myths, heating oils, and hot water problems. How to save on car rentals. License to drive. This is where Amy came in. This is her guest blog for this month. And prevent employee theft. Do you see anything here related to insurance? We don't talk about insurance. People know that Boston Insurance blog is owned by Vargas Insurance. They go there, they consume. We have a couple thousand subscribers. 10 to 15 of these blogs get read as soon as they hit. Maybe they're my insurance competitors, I don't know. But 10 to 15% of them get usually read within a day. But we talk about everything other than insurance. I did a quick search on the internet. I found this company. Basically says 14, I was only able to put 7 here, 14 restaurant marketing tips. Stay current. Know who your competitors are, know what's going on. Have a functional site. Engage in SEO. There's an awful lot of companies out there selling SEO. Don't buy it. I think if you provide enough quality content, enough reviews, you reply to people when they have an issue, that's going to give you that SEO bang there. And this is something that we've started about 3 years ago. Grow your email list. That is so important because we send out birthday emails. We'd love to have a free lollipop at the sweet place if we could, But we send out 50 to 60 of those a day. So if my message is going out the door, happy birthday. I'm 50-something. My wife wishes me happy birthday. My kids sometimes when they remember, But if your insurance guy sends you off an email, says, happy birthday, Carlos. Hope you have a great day. Hey, your breakfast at whatever. Take 20% off. Take 50% off. That's actually a great way to connect with them without trying to sell them anything. And just this is what we did before we kind of stepped into the social media world. We were always prospecting. We advertised. Always networking, right? Always going to these groups and shaking hands and telling everybody we did. We educated the consumers. We're always trying to build relationships, connecting with clients and prospects, and then we sold them the policies, right? Today, it's kind of the same way, but we do an awful lot of more education. We just provide content. Content gets out there. People read it. We're always networking. We use social media instead of advertising. We sell and service our clients, and we foster and develop the relationship. Because if somebody comes in for auto insurance, I want their home, I want their life, I want all of their products. and I need to foster that. And the only way I can really earn their business is by providing quality content, short of their old age and dropping off the face of the earth. This is our June Google Analytics, and I don't know if anybody, if you have a site, you probably should sign up for this. It's free. Prior to us moving into the social media world 4 years or so ago, our unique visits were 150, 300. On average, we get between 3,000 and 5,000 unique visitors to our website every month. These are folks that have never been there before. The bounce rate is 58%, which means that they're there to gather a phone number. These guys are located where on Washington Street? Where in Stowe is their office? So almost 40% in the month of June, anybody that came to our site spent some time there. They went beyond the first page. And you can tell when we posted our blogs, or we did something on social media, you know, the 2 or 3, 4 blogs per week, that spiked the traffic to our site. Ask yourself, what are we trying to achieve? Who are the influencers in the business community? Who are my competitors? I want to find my most successful competitors, and I'm going to copy them. What's the old term? Copying is the greatest form of flattery. I'm going to copy them. And if your competitor is a decent person, they're going to want you to copy them, because we're all going to, you know, rising tides lifts all boats, if that's a proper term. You know, so we're all going to make money, or we're all going to fail at this, you know. In our business, I mean, we're a small independent shop. We're fighting the Progressives, the Geicos, the Flows, the Lizards, and Mayhem. Mayhem's in town. So we try to help all of our other local guys, because if they're successful, if Mayhem finds that their new office on Dorchester Ave isn't working out, they won't open up 3 more, right? They're gonna say, maybe we belong in, you know, Malden or something. We don't belong here. So if we can somehow, as an insurance body, fight off those guys, there won't be much of any competition. Find a role model and follow them. Figure out where their likes are coming from, who is in their circles when it comes to Google+. How many Twitter followers? I can buy Twitter followers. You can buy Twitter followers. You go to a company, they'll sell you 4,000 Twitter followers. And so you have a whole bunch of people. You look like you're doing an awful lot, but nobody's interacting. And that's easily made up and figured out. And how are we doing compared to our competitors? Track engagement, Google and Analytics, SEO Moz, Follow Wonk, and Clout. Clout is something that'll tell you how you rank on social media, in the social media world. And I saw this today, so I threw this in, and I brought a book. I think it's Neil Schaefer's book. It says, business people who read at least 7 business books a year earn 2.3 times more than those who read only 1 book per year. I think I read probably 15 books a year. I'm always trying to expand my brain stuff. Plus, I'm also trying not to let it all go away. And the reason that they had for it was because the business people that read an awful lot of business books, they stay current with new ideas, new strategies that help their careers and their teams. So if you don't read a book every other month or so, you probably should consider doing it. And this was to my friend John Fear. We work with John Fear. I quoted John here. Jeff does know that. The 3 M's of marketing. And John would say it in this way: what are the 3 M's of marketing? Know your market. Identify your market. Who are your prospects? Their gender, age, zip codes, interests, hobbies, and marital statuses. What is your message to those people? Tailor your message to them. And choose a media. Where do your customers spend their time? Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, and that's where you should be spending your efforts. Your question shouldn't be why, but how. These are the notable blogs that I follow. Ryan Hanley, Matt Brown. an ex-insurance guy, and I can send you all this. I can forward the PowerPoints to you. Matt Brown is an ex-insurance guy in a steel belt depressed community in Ohio, and he's working up to build their downtown, their community, attract businesses to the downtown. John Fear, the sales line, if you want to learn how to sell, I believe that's Neil Schaefer's, Michael Mayer, Maximize Social. And I listen to this podcast. Sometimes I listen to the same podcast 5 and 6 times because I'm old and he's 30, and it just doesn't sink in. So as I'm out driving, I get Ryan in the car. As I'm out walking, I get Ryan on my iPhone. I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to pick up from these guys. This is who I am. This is, we love to be part of the community. Dorchester is just a great community to be a part of. It's so easy to be a part of it. It really is. And everybody has these welcoming arms. Everybody welcomes all newcomers, which is a great thing. I don't know if you have any questions or.
Carlos, do you still do traditional marketing? What you deem what you were doing 5 years ago? Or is it purely this now?
It's purely this and community events. If you donate tickets to something, or you buy a table here or buy a table there, I find that you create a better connection with your possible consumers and prospects. So we support the Dorchester Reporter just because I love the Fords, and they put out a good product. We put an ad there. Once a month we put the banner ad. It costs us $300 a month. We do a banner on the .news website, and that's it. Then everything else is here.
So now that you've made this shift from, I'll call it traditional to online, for lack of a better descriptor, have you seen a lift in business, or is this about efficiency for your business?
It's both. We've, like the sales manager here. So we've seen an increase in business in the last 3 to 4 years. I mean, we've probably.
Yeah, we were right on average before, somewhere between like 7 to 10 accounts a day, and we have months now where it's somewhere between 15 to 25 a day. So it's definitely
a day.
It's an uptick of the social media. Where even yesterday, a friend of mine came in, put a truck on the road. We took care of everything in house for him, issued his plates. He left with his plates, with his registration. Later on that night, also my phone's blowing up because he tagged Vargas Insurance and Jeff Camara in a post, and 20 some odd people liked it. And none of those people were my friend or Carlos's friend, so it's nice. So, with that social media site, we had 25 new people that liked what Vargas Insurance did for him and getting his plates, and then another 10 people put comments who aren't, friends with me or Carlos or the agency. So it definitely helps grow. So people start thinking. So you get those calls a lot that, hey, my friend, dealt with you guys, get a great Yelp review. And that's something that Carlos pushes pretty heavy, and so do I, is, trying to get our clients to give us that Yelp review as soon as we're done with the transaction. And that definitely drives a lot. I do the same thing when I go out to dinner with my wife, and I'm not familiar with the neighborhood. I jump on Yelp and say, restaurants and what's there, and usually I go based on the reviews. How many stars do you have is where I'm going to eat.
And I was in a social media class yesterday, and Carlos was a reference of that class, and how someone, he knew Carlos, kind of distantly, but they're friends on Facebook. He didn't need insurance, and like this picture here, following him there, and then someone he knew needed insurance. He referred Carlos, and then some time later, maybe 2 or 3 months, he switched over his own things to Vargas. So, and that all came from
The connection on social media.
And that was the reference on how Vargas takes away the stereotype of insurance people because of the social media aspects, make them seem more tangible and more neighborly.
Yeah.
So I think one of the big differences, not to equate your business to my business, but I think the difference is we're not top of mind because we're not everyday transactions like restaurants.
Okay.
Right? Restaurants happen very frequently, they're impulse items to some degree, and then that's a common occurrence. For us, these are one-off events. In your case, it may be an annual event. In my case, it may be every 3-year event, maybe even longer.
And what is your business?
Physical therapy.
Okay, yeah.
So with that in mind, I can understand where networking comes to play because you've built up and fostered a relationship whereby the pooling of people over time gives that network multiplier effect.
Sure.
So it's the top of mind that you're addressing in the market space that nobody else, perhaps to the same degree that you've done, has done. Now my real question is, you're ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But now that you've proliferated the market, sharing this wealth of information, and someone does what you said, the best form of flattery is copying you.
Absolutely. Yep.
And they copy you in 2 to 3 years, what do you think you're going to have to do to differentiate yourself when they're all doing what you're doing?
I think we have enough traction. We have enough stuff behind us. I mean, we've done it for a long enough time. Plus, there's so much business out here. I mean, there's just so much business, you know, so much business for the picking, so much low-hanging fruit, that I think if you provide enough quality content, you're going to win a share of that pie. I get a share of that pie, you get a share of that pie, and we're beating off the progressives and flows. I mean, that's really the momentum behind most independent insurance agencies, other than making money, is we want to beat off the direct writers, right? They can come in, they can lowball you, but then you get all these deductibles that you didn't have before, but you're not an insurance person, so you don't know it. And then you have a collision, then you go back to your independent guy because, you know, that's okay, because I know my peers as well. I would put a lunch on this at Tam's place, that 85% of most independent agents are still in 1960. Which is great. It's great for us, right? Because we're just there. We're providing content. Folks are consuming the content. They think of us as the folks to go to. You know, I think in your business, I wouldn't shortchange. I would, if you can write 1 or 2 blogs a week, talk about the issues that I know with HIPAA and stuff, you can't provide much information, but hey, did you know that if you get into a collision, this could happen a week later? You know, check your physical therapy. I mean, you know, I certainly would. I would go to Google. One of these slides has it at the bottom where you can Google what folks on Google are talking about, and you can punch in auto insurance or auto accident or house insurance or umbrella insurance, and it'll tell you what folks are talking about. I would use one of those top of the list terms and try to blog once a week. Did you know that this doctor is blogging? I mean, it's just, that's going to move you ahead of the slip and fall guys, you know, especially if you're providing, you know, good care.
Not only that, I got into a car accident and I felt perfectly fine picking up my kids. You know, I have time to play with them, just give me information, let's go. Car's not falling apart. I got to get there before I get late. It was just an inconvenience. So the next day something fell off the car. So I took the car to get fixed, but I didn't know what the process was to get for a car accident. So I called you and was like, you know, hey, what about this? 2 weeks later, I couldn't get out of bed, like paralyzed and hit down. And I just thought it was simple. You know, they took the thing, but then the insurance company had a problem with it because they're like, well, why are you going to the chiropractor now? So the thing is, I have 3 little kids, I run a business, my husband's out of the house at 5 o'clock in the morning, I just don't have time to go with the people. But I didn't know what the process was, and so then they were trying to say that I wasn't really injured. But if I have a chiropractor on my feet that told me what I'm supposed to do when I get in a car accident.
I live by my chiropractic care every month. I mean, I just think you guys do an unbelievable job.
Yeah.
I feel good the way I do because of the auto accidents and the soft tissue damage and all that stuff. I think if you talk about that, if you say, hey, I'm posting this, private message 10 billion, I'm probably a billion of those. Private message me, listen, I just posted this, could you share it, could you like it, could you have your staff do it? Absolutely we will, you know?
But I think it's just as relevant for any other service, just because people really don't know. They know a whole lot of stuff,
Right.
read miscellaneous information.
Right. You're a business owner,
But I
yeah.
never knew what to do if someone hit you in a car accident other than exchange papers.
Right.
And the key word there is the service. I mean, like, you know, what we do in the social media is great, but at the end of the day, if they come back to us, is give them the service they're not going to get from the direct writers. Is, you know, if somebody calls in a car crash, they call, you know, 1-800 good luck. They're going to give those guys work for those companies. Where if somebody calls us, you know, we're going to say, listen, you should get checked out because you feel fine right now. but you might not feel fine tomorrow. It's just, so if somebody calls up to an accident, it's just we call the police. We always recommend it if there's anything going on because we want to have something on the report in case something happens. That's the difference where people think it was because of the car crash, and now we're going to give them that added service when they leave and saying, I actually got some knowledge from Vargas and Vargas because these guys, painted the picture, and they may not be our client. I mean, I've had friends that have called me and say, hey Jeff, this is what happens, this is what you want to do because you want to get checked out, because if you don't, what's going to happen down the line? Same thing happened to my wife where she got rear-ended, and of course, it's like the electrician where the light switch doesn't work at his house, it's the insurance guy, she calls me, I said, Jen, if you're fine, just exchange papers and leave. And then, like 2 days later, she's in all types of pain. So, she ended up, go seeing a car crash and all that stuff and getting work done, but, it took her 2 weeks before it happened. They're saying, well, was she really hurt? What are you guys doing? Yeah, she was really hurt. It's just, she felt fine at the time, and when she got home and relaxed, and the adrenaline came down, she felt the pain kind of deal. So it's, it's also about providing that service. Social media is great to get them to you, but then it's also, keeping that high bar of, hey, what are we doing well and what can we do better?
Right.
So to add to that, the whole purpose of creating all this content is to create trust, like potential consumers, so that you're not seeing it so much as a product or service, but you're seeing it as a person. So in terms of physical therapy, right? Something that's not directly related to someone that has an accident, but something that's so useful is stretching. A lot of people, they don't know how to stretch correctly. If you were to create some sort of content around stretching 5 minutes, stretching before going to gym, whatever, they then possibly create some trust with this person. This person, Tom, showed me like this, and then that's when he becomes an expert. So that's an example for, say, physical therapy. Real estate, I'm going to start looking for housing. I don't even know anything where to start, where to go, what to look for. If Jack Conway on their site, they're going to blog about, when you're looking at a house, these just a couple of things you've got to trust. So it's things like that. You're providing content that's useful, and it's not completely self-serving. So you create this trust of, this person, they do work for this business, but they also care about it. So it's not just about selling, but it's about providing.
Right. Yes.
A lot of what you're trying to target is certain audiences. Where do you get those specific what to do? For instance, there's a bunch of businesses here, Model Way.
Yeah.
Sweet Life is going after something different than you're going after. How would she know who to target? Is there a website you go to? Is there some place that's like the guru that says, okay, I'm looking for kids between 15 and 30, so I should go to YouTube, or I should go to Facebook? Is there something out there that kind of tailors and tells you here's where to go?
I don't think there isn't, but I think if you're looking to target a specific age group or somebody in a part of the city, Facebook has, you can customize those ads. You can say, I want everybody in Dorchester between the ages of 14 and 21, and I want all females. And you'll end up paying pennies per impression, versus if you say, I want to create an ad for my business in the city of Boston or Massachusetts, you're going to pay like, $50 a day to show your ad. So, this book here, Neil Schaefer's book, this is the how. This is how to do it. This book just came out maybe about 2 or 3 weeks or so ago. It's not the why, it's the how. This is how you need to target these folks. And I have a couple extra ones of my Conway best friends back there that I will, even though you might not win this one, I have 3 or 4 at home because I thought that this was a great book. I read this online. I can get you the book. This is definitely a good place to start. But I don't think there's any, because it's not the wild, wild west of social media, it's the ever-evolving world of social media, right? So it's forever changing. A lot of folks were gaming the system. Google came up with the Canada updates. No gaming. But now they're gaming it again, so now they're making other changes. So I don't think there's any way, but other than jumping into the pool, providing quality content, and folks will trust you. You have a question?
I was just going to echo Tam's comment and congratulate you because I think it's a great space to be in because it's really going to 2 things for me. One, it's already happening whether we like it or not. We talk to businesses a lot, we hear that, it's like, should I? It's like, oh, it's already happening,
Right.
so we need to get in there, right? But the second thing, which I really appreciate you're promoting, is the authenticity, because users in the space will snip out immediately, particularly if you do it in the hard sell. And then that is, I think, any relationship takes time to develop. And if you do it, they'll trust you, but if you're authentic about it, that's when you're gonna see the longer term payoff. So I think that's great for your pushing that. Businesses we work with that do it that way are the ones that are the most successful.
Because you're in it for the long haul. Folks will snip out somebody who's just here for the time being. Just trying to make money out. Any questions? Should I pick a winner? Hey, they're going to do this thing. There's a lot of friends.
Don't pick me.
Throw some cards in there.
Yeah, throw some cards in there.
Yeah, if anyone has cards.
I'll throw a piece of paper.
Can you take a couple of pictures so that we have them for Evelyn?
You can't be
Anyone
looking while
coming
you
in?
pick.
Oh, no, I'm not continuing. I just want to mix them up a bit. Of course, Beverly.
Beverly.
Sweet,
Sweet
place.
Very congratulations.
Come on up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a great book. And I will send me an email and I'll get you one. So I don't want to take anything away from Beverly, but I have 2 or 3
Very
at
nice.
home, so
We can get a picture after. Well,
thank you.
just